this is Crystal Renee from the 90 Day Podcast, and my next guest is Katina Lomack. How are you, girl?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm well. Well, I'm reaching out to Katina because she wrote something so fascinating on Facebook that I had to invite her as a guest. And I titled this, "It Really Bothers Me." That's what I titled it as. And I don't know what she titled it as, but she wrote it.
And I like that, though. I like that.
Thank you. But before we get into this, me asking her questions, Katina, can you just read what we're talking about? Can you read what you wrote?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. It really bothers me when guys say, "When can I see you?" or "Can I see you?" No. Can you pray for me? Support me? Be there when I need you? Can you hold my hand when I get weak and tired? Can you pay a bill? Can you help me with guiding my sons through life? Can you hold me and build me up? Can you ask me how my day was? Or how can I make it better? Can you check on me and make sure I'm good? Can you listen effectively and communicate with me? If you're already with someone, then do better with that person. Don't go looking for other lives to mess up. Be loyal and faithful to that person. Be loyal and faithful to the person you're with. And if it's broken, then fix it or just leave. Women and men, you are beautiful and you are God's gift. Let's get this thing called life and do it together and do it better. Oh, and another thing, if you ask for sex and I come back with, "Can you help me with whatever I need?" then you say I'm a gold digger or all I want is your money. But you just ask for sex though, right? Make that make sense.
Now, y'all see why I invited her on my show, right? On the 90 Day Podcast. That was deep, and let me tell you, you got a lot of responses from that.
I know, I was amazed by that because I didn't know I was going to be. I really didn't know how that was going to pan out when I put that on Facebook. But it blessed me so much that it touched so many other people.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, God, you did that. So that was good.
What made you write that? What made you write that particular poem, or however you want to call that?
Because, you know what? I think I got a text that day or something. It was like, "When can I see you?" Or was it, "When can I see you?" or "Can I see you?" Something like that. Something to that. Yeah, something to that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, when can I get a text like, "How was your day? What's going on with you?" Like, is there anything else I can do or anything that I can do to make it better? You know, those type of texts. So not like, "When can I see you?" or, "When you coming over?" or something like to that effect.
Right.
I'm like, that just bothers me. But now it's really starting to really irk me. I don't know if because I'm getting older or what, but it's really bothering me. So
now, has a guy ever asked you, "Can they see you?" and your response was, "Can you pray for me?"
You know what? Not at first. That wasn't my response at first. But I guess when a person keep at you and at you and at you, and then after a while I'm like, you get irritated, you get tired at that point. So I'm like, oh my gosh, can you pray for me? Can you do this for me? Can you do something for me? It's always, or it shouldn't always be about sex. Let's put it like that. It shouldn't always be like sex. So I'm saying that now. Can you pray for me? Can you do this for me? Or can you do that for me? I figure if you can ask me for that, the most important, the most valuable thing that we have, if you can ask me about that, I feel, I don't know about everybody else, but I feel I should have a right to say, can you pray for me? Or can you help me take something? Or can you just hold me? I'm tired. Like, when I get weak, can you, like, be there for me?
Yeah, because, I mean, when you ask someone, can you pray for me? To me, that's deep. That is real deep. And that's showing that you're letting a more of a spiritual side with and some guys will get real crafty and be like, yeah, I'll pray for you, come on, let's pray, let me hold your hand, and they get real biblical on you, and start praying for you. They start talking in tongues. You'll be like, what?
Some will not. Some may not.
Some get real sophisticated on you.
Like, what you mean? Can I pray? We didn't want to, like, go off with you because you said something about praying. You forgot.
And then not only that, some might even give you some Bible scriptures to reference. And
they may. Yeah, that's true. They might throw some at me. I'm like, okay, let's get the Bible in. We're about to have Bible study, okay?
Ask and you shall receive, huh?
Amen.
So, you know what? You mentioned many of phrases that I liked, and you did mention it briefly just a minute ago, but this is one of the ones that I do like. Can you hold my hand when I get weak and tired?
Yes.
I like that one.
Me too.
What made you write that? Was it something were you going through something at one time that made you specifically write some of what you wrote? Because I feel like this, people write what they went through.
Yeah.
So some of the stuff you had to go through.
That's very true. And I have. And it was, like, really on me. That's why I had put it out there. Because I'm like, that right there, oh my goodness. I've cried many times with that one. Can you hold my hand when I get weak or when I'm going through something? Because a lot of times, just like recently too, I've been really sad a lot because it feels like I'm going through this by myself. I'm not really by myself because I have my family, but because because we females and we are the weaker vessel, and God says it too. But I don't have that male support, or that male, not even just a role model, but that male to hold me down. Like, okay, you know what? We're strong women. We got it. We can do this. We can do that. We can do a lot. But sometimes we still need that male, that companionship, that partner, that person that your road dog or your A1 that's got you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, God, oh my gosh, I know I can do this. I know I can do this with you. And a lot of times I'm doing it on my own, but I still need somebody to hold my hand. I still need somebody, I get weak a lot.
Right.
And I'm strong. I'm a strong person, but I still get tired. I feel like I have the weight of the world on my shoulder. I got 3 sons, and I got my glands and stuff and everything like that. So I'm like, and a lot of times I can't be the daddy figure for them, or I can't be what they need as far as men. So I don't know. That one right there really is hard to me, because I'm like just one day I was crying because my dad is not here no more, and I can't call him to talk to him and stuff like that. So I really feel like a lot of times I'm just out here by myself as far as female is concerned. Like I said, even though I have my mom, my brothers, I got them, but just the fact you don't have that, I don't have that backbone and support of a man that I know I need. So that one is home. Yeah.
That is real deep. Wow. Now, this next question, when I say a man, I'm gonna change the word to king. So
yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
So a king that can stand with his queen and continue to build her up without degrading her and tearing her down and having her back. Have that man crossed your path?
No, he has not. He has not. Oh my gosh, God! And it's you know what? When you said king, oh that jump, it's like something like jump, like leaped in me, like, and I'm thinking, oh that's a post right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a post. Because immediately I went to king versus man. Okay, when you say I'm not going to talk about man, but I'm going to talk about king.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking, now my mind is thinking king. What is a king? What's the difference between a man and what's the difference in a king?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we say king, you know, we call our sons kings, or we call, you know, even though our significant other, or we call guys, you know, good morning king, or hey king, or something like that. Hi, happy birthday king, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But what is really a king? And is that person really acting as a king should? Or is that king really doing what kings do, you know?
Right, yes.
So that thought just hit me like hard. I'm always saying king, but when I'm just not hearing you say it. It's like, wow, that's another level. Like, king is not something you should take lightly. Like,
you're right.
Yeah, even like queens, like ourselves, like we call ourselves queens, but okay, what is a queen? Yeah, you know, queens. What do a queen do? Like, we shouldn't queens take on. Queens do stuff, like kings do stuff too, but kings are powerful.
Yeah.
God is powerful. He's a king, you know? So that's another level. Like, cause we look at it like we don't look at it like we should.
You know what?
I believe if we looked at a king and a queen the way we should, we wouldn't treat each other like we did.
Right. Because when I think of a king, I think of honorable.
Mm-hmm.
I think of respectable.
Mm-hmm.
I think of strong, but notable. And he's also deserving and rewarding. You know, a king is not, to me, a king has to be, there is some cockiness in a king. You don't want a weak king. But when I look at a man, I don't want to look at just a man. I want to look at a king that would treat his queen beautifully.
Yeah.
Like a rose, like you take care of a beautiful rose in a garden. You're going to make sure that rose is watered, the sunlight, the feeding, everything that you put to make that rose beautiful, and the petals are green, the red, or the petals are red and velvet, and you're just going to make sure every time you look outside that garden, that rose petal is beautiful looking. And that's how your queen should be. Every time you look at that queen and that king, they should always compliment one another at all times.
True. That's very true.
And if they don't, something is wrong. If they're not evenly yoked, they're not. And that's something that we have to think about.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's very true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah. Getting to our next question. Are there men out there that are good enough in your eyes that could be a good male role model for your sons?
I haven't came across any. The only ones I can think of are my bros, my brothers, and even guys I call my brothers. Those are like the only ones I can think of. As far as guys that I've been with, or guys who I could, think about could being with, I don't see it. So that's probably why I'm still, single, and I don't know. I haven't seen any. So only my brothers I can think of, and people that I respect. Because like men I respect, that's came across my path, and like older men,
Right.
like different older men that I look up to and stuff like that I respect. But yeah, other than that,
A role model a male role model is hard to find.
yeah,
It's hard to find a role model that could fit well in the shoe of someone that is highly represented, even in your family. It's hard to find a good role model.
that's true.
So, for young men, we want them to grow up well. We want them to be successful. We want them to obtain a lot in life. We want them to be knowledgeable.
Yeah.
We want them to be smart and be respectable. And all that comes, we as women could teach them what we know as nurturers, because that's who we are as women. We can nurture our men, but when it comes to a man taking on that role as a man, training and being a role model to his son, really we have to ask ourselves, what is that role model? Who is that role model? And I think the best place to start is probably in the Bible.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's a good start. Okay, next question. Is it good to ask a man about his past relationship on the first date?
Ooh, you know what? My younger self would have been like, yes, let's talk about it. But my older self, no, I don't think so. I know other people might say, yes, we need to find out everything, but I don't think so, because that only stirs up problems and bring in unnecessary drama that you don't need in your new relationship. I think if two people are meeting and they're trying to be together and work on, get to know each other, I think they should leave that everything else that was in the past and just work on what that person is now and each other at that time. Like, let that person see who you are and you see who that person is. Because if you're telling me everything about this person, what this person did and what you guys did together, then I'm going to be thinking about that. And then I could throw it up one day, or you could do the same thing to me. Throw up what I said to you. So I think it would be best just to keep it to yourself and just let the chips fall where they may. And it could be, because it could be times where that person could act like a previous relationship, or guys you've known, or girls you've known, and you're like, oh, you just like such and such, and you know.
Mm-hmm.
But if that person don't know it, then you have it in your head, you ain't got to express it instead. You'll just be like, okay, I'm seeing some stuff. So especially if it's things you don't like, but if it's things that you can work out together, especially if you communicating, and that can go a long ways.
Hmm. Do you think it's good to? Okay, well, forget about the past relationships. Would you
Hmm.
want to know about a man's past? Period.
Yeah. Well, it depends, I guess, what you want to know about his past.
Because with me, if I had to start over, I want to know about your past, your criminal past. I want to
Yeah,
know, do
that's
you have a? I
different.
want to know, do you have an abusive? Have you ever been abusive with a woman? I want
That's
to know, have
different.
you ever been?
That's
So
different.
that details um, being in a relationship. You know,
That's different.
yeah, that
Yeah,
details
stuff
being
like
in a
that is different.
relationship. So
Yeah,
if
that's what
that
I'm saying.
means,
That's why you have to get to know that person. They get to know you. You get to know her, and you get to know. That's like that should be like a get to know each other process type thing. So
so you wouldn't ask that on the first date.
not about no, not the first date, and not about his ex. Now him maybe like things about himself, and what he has going on, his goals, what he the different things like that, where he at financially probably, and what's going on, what he got going on. Because I've learned my lesson through a lot of stuff. So like I said, I'm getting older, so I'm learning and I'm wiser than I used to be. So a lot of things I wouldn't put up with now that I used to, or a lot of things I wouldn't go through now that I did before. So of course I'm like I'm at not a game, but my wall is up there, and I'm like asking questions. And like I said, then it comes from getting to know that person and being around that person, and eventually that person's gonna start showing that person. So like certain things, because like say like if that person was abusive back in his other relationships or previously with other people or stuff like, you don't even have to ask nobody. It will show. Like say like if you guys get into an argument and then all of a sudden you start cursing you out, calling you names, or doing the most, or even like just not just that, or he starts becoming controlling, or you'll start seeing signs of abusive or domestic stuff.
Yeah,
You'll see
but
it.
you know
You don't
what?
even have to think.
Sometimes women don't see that, not until it's too late, not until you're actually moved in with the person, or not until you're probably starting a family with this person. That's when you start seeing more of the craziness in the person. Um, so, that's when you start seeing more of the craziness in the person. So I feel like with me, now that I'm older and I'm a little wiser, I want to know, not only are you abusive, but do you have any substance abuse? Um,
That too. But
yeah.
they can lie though. They can lie.
Oh yeah, but you know
Like,
what? But you know what? A police report can't lie, cause you got
that's
shoot
true.
Google, child.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
can
Doing
Google up
enough research
anybody.
before.
Public records is
Yeah,
public records
that's why you
means
should do
public
your
records.
versus asking. I wouldn't like necessarily like ask too much, because asking a lot and then because you can see that person, because it's like if you start asking this person all these questions right up front, and they'll try to do everything they can to be on their A game because they know you just asking these questions and they know you that's what you're looking out for. But if you're just like waiting and watching and trying to see, get a feel of what's going on, so they will start showing you signs. It won't be everything, but you will start like even like with me, right, with my past relationships, right, marriages or whatever relationships I was in, there were signs. You see things, you just tend to ignore things, but I'm like, okay, well, I let that go. He was upset, or I let that go. But he was having a bad day, or my thing is, I always try to see the best in people. A lot of times I'm like, God, I don't know why I'm like this. I don't like this sometimes, but I try to look at how that person is to what that person can, what that person can become, or how that person really is, because a lot of abusive people, like they really sweet people, they just been through a lot, but they just don't know how to express it or whatever. So I just tend to I used to, not now, would like overlook that because I'm like, man, first they told you to been through this or this is going on, and then they like got a lot going on or how they was brought up, you started to feel bad for them. So that was my thing. But I'm saying they show you signs, even though you don't pick up all the signs, but it's little things they throw out there too. You just don't catch it or just let it go slide by, which we should just like, oh, wait a minute, red flag. Let me take note of that. Another red flag. To me, these little red flags, there's something going on. So
yeah, but I mean, who got time for a lot of little red flags? I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
I don't want to map with a whole bunch of little red flags. I mean,
there you go.
my first red flag, and at my age, I'm out. I don't want two red flags. One red flag, and that's it for me. And that's going to be on our date.
And that's what I'm
saying. And that's it. And that's it. Because you know what? I'm screening for questions at this moment.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's when you start bringing out questions and you start like, all right, what's really going on with you? You don't know. You want this person to stay. Something wrong.
Oh my God. Is sex overrated to you? Do you think sex is overrated, and just in general? And is sex overrated when it comes to just in general?
Sex overrated? I'm trying to figure out that question. Let me see.
Like, cause you have you have commercials where you have either women are half dressed or barely dressed, or you have commercials where men are somewhat the same now, that would arouse both men and the women.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have so many sex stimulators that would enhance your sex tendencies. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Your sex pleasurables, I would say. You have videos. You have just someone could read a book and they could just point out something and they could just relate that to just sex.
Yeah.
Do you think sex is just overrated just in general?
Well, in general, yeah. And I heard they say men think about sex 24/7.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that it's overrated too. Like you said, to how we dress, to anything. Looking at something weird that look like you like, I don't know if you've seen sometimes when people send a picture and they said what this picture look like, and it look like something that could be sexual.
Yeah.
But then you turn it over and it's not. Like,
yeah.
Like, come on now.
Even the emojis, what they have, the emojis, what they consider the some emojis that might represent sexual male parts or sexual women parts. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just feel like sex is just overrated. Even with relationships, some people are sex drives is off the wall, where they constantly have to have it like every day. Men and women, they have to have that sex every day.
Some people have it more than one time, but they do.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a constant thing with them. And that's why I asked, do you think sex is it overrated? Do you think we just need to be more aware of just do you think we should just have a better understanding of um, sex awareness as far as okay, what happens afterwards? Because it's not sex is the only but just being pleasured. Now what happens after that pleasure? Like what
Yeah.
you like in your poem, would you be around? Would you hold my hand? Would you pray?
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you be there to raise my kids?
Yeah.
Would you be there for me?
Yeah.
These are some deep questions. It's not just about a 10-minute or 15-minute sexual climax. What about the long term effect afterwards?
Yeah.
Would you
Yeah.
be there for the long run? If I give you a piece of me that is um so precious,
Hmm.
would you be there for me for the long run?
That's true. And that's what I'm looking for. That's the very thing right there. You nailed it. Right, that right there is what I want. Like, okay, I just told this guy recently that that very thing. I'm like, this guy I was talking to for a couple of years. I'm like, okay, if we didn't have that, then what else would we have? Because it's like nothing. Like, when I actually sat down and thought about it, I'm like, we wouldn't really have nothing because we don't talk about it. We started out talking. That's what I was talking about, how you start off, but then later on, it's like, man, we don't talk about anything. I mean, you know how people, have you ever seen couples sit at the table? They're not engaging with each other.
Mm-hmm.
They just at the table, they have their phones or they looking around like
Yep.
they're bored. Or I'm like, they don't look like they're happy with each other. They don't look like they want to be there with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, that's not what I want. I want, if I'm with you, I want us talking. I want us, enjoying each other.
Engaging with one another.
Yes, engage with me. Talk to me. Like, hold my hand. Like, I'm touching feelings. So, like, I'm like, I like a guy, like, rubbing on my shoulder, touching me or something. Grab my butt. Like, come on, do something. Like, rub a bag or something. Or, like, don't, like, just sit over there like you don't want to be, that just tells me, like, you're not really interested in being with me. You just with me for sex, or you just want to be here for that. So, or we can't do the little things. Like, it's the little things with me. You don't have to be big.
Right. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
If you say no to someone who just asked you, like in your poem, if you ask me for sex and if I say no, what you think would be someone's retaliation?
They'll be, oh my gosh. They ask me for sex and I say no.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's for tripping. Or, some guys, they might be like, well, if they really like selfish, it wasn't about you anyway, they'll be like, well, what would they say? Let me see. I'm trying to figure out what would they say. That would just get mad about something. Oh my gosh, if I say no, they're like, oh my, really? Are you serious? Okay, bye then, or something like that. Like, oh dang, like, we ain't talking about nothing else. And we ain't gonna come, like, okay, like, can we do this? Can we go cook something together? Can we go do something else? But that's not what they want in the first place. So they just shut all that down. Like, I talk to you tomorrow. I'll talk to you later or something. They don't want to talk to you no more. So,
I skim through a lot of Facebook because that's my job as being in the field of podcasting.
mm-hmm.
And sometimes I come across, every now and then, I'll come across different Facebook posts where I have read a woman going out on a blind date with a guy for the first time, and the time where she'll say no, she said no to whatever advances he made towards her. And the reason why I said he is because he was always the aggressor. And it's shocking how the retaliation was always so devastating to where women who post themselves who have been battered and beaten because they said no. I mean, beaten to where they gotten badly bruised. I mean, severely bruised where their teeth been knocked out.
Wow.
Their face been so black and blued.
Wow.
Black-eyed.
Wow.
I mean, just because they said the word no and because they chose the wrong guy.
Yeah. That's how that works.
Yeah, just because they said no. And we have the right to say no because it's our body.
Yeah.
I mean, Tupac made a song. What is that song that Tupac made? What's it? I forgot the rap song. I forgot the rap song that Tupac made. And I'm pretty sure it'll come to me. What is this? Someone had a baby.
Oh, okay. I know something about. I was just gonna say, at least somebody had a baby or something like that.
Well, what's that song?
Talking about, though.
But you know what song I'm talking about. I can't think of this. I can't think of this song, but it's gonna come. It's gonna come up to me. Yeah, you pulling up the song?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Yeah. But it's God, it's gonna haunt me because I could think of it. It's right there on the tip of my tongue, but I can't for the life of me think of that Tupac song.
I have to for YouTube.
But anyway, Tupac got a song, and like he says, it's our bodies. We have the right to say no.
We do.
We have the right to say no.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say Lisa had a baby or Lisa or something. It could have been Lisa's baby or something like that. The name of the song, but yeah. But we do have that right, and I think men should respect that.
They should.
Yeah.
They should.
Yeah. I was matter of fact today I was looking through a post and I seen where a man who assaulted a young girl, and he was about to get married within a few days.
Wow.
And he assaulted a young girl, and that was devastating. So it's this, when it comes to sex and it comes to respecting a woman and it comes to treating women right and respecting our bodies, and when you write stuff like this, it really bothers me. This is what you said is true. It really bothers me when guys say these type of things. And when we say, can you do just the little things that we want you to do? And when they say, well, no, really, I can't do that, but I don't mind if we could just spend a little cuddle time together.
Yeah.
That irks us as women.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're asking us to give up so much of us So we're not even willing to share.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not even willing to share. So I feel like this is something that is really deep, um, and something that could probably be more discussed maybe in another topic, maybe when you write something else.
I know, right? I've been thinking about some stuff. I was even about to before with the bed, write something on Facebook, go on there, put something out there. I was trying to figure if I should do it now or should I wait in the morning. So yeah, I was thinking about it. But yeah, that's some stuff right there. And I was even thinking about just now when you was talking about how sex been overrated, and even like a lot of things, like just the things that we wear, women wear, and guys are like, well, if you post that or you wear that, then you want guys to like come at you like that. But a lot of times, no. Some girls may, depending on the girl, or the woman that you talk to at the time. But a lot of women, they want to feel sexy, or they lots of they want to feel sexy for themselves,
Right.
Or they want to just put on something nice and be like, okay, I look good or something like that. A lot of times some of us have low self-esteem, and when we do put on something sexy, like, oh my gosh, like wow, I look nice in that. Oh, that makes me feel good. But like if we post something because we thought we looked nice in something that day, or we put on something, then we putting it on because we trying to get a guy to come at us like that.
Yeah.
But we're not doing that just for that. Now it's okay for you to start talking about sex to me. That's not that's not what I'm wanting.
Right.
Like, no. Like you said, a lot of girls, men and women, they like sex.
Right.
A lot of people out here is vice versa. Don't like sex like that.
Right.
A lot of us, we just want to have somebody to, talk to or just be with. That when that comes, but that's not like on the main front.
And you know what? I did pull up that song by Tupac. It's Brenda Got a Baby.
Yo, I was gonna say it when we was talking. I got it said right here. Brenda got a baby.
Brenda Got a Baby.
Yo,
yes, that is the name of the song by Tupac. I couldn't remember, but I got it now. I knew. I said, let me pull this up on YouTube before we get off the air because it was going to haunt me. Wow, Brenda's Got a Baby. Yes.
Yeah. Brenda's got a baby.
Brenda's got a baby. But listen here, thank you for your time today. Thank you for coming and joining me on the 90-Day Podcast. It was a pleasure having you. Continue to write.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate you. Yes, thank you. And thank you for saying I'm getting that too. It's not weird or funny, but I'm like, wow, like, okay, people really want to hear, some people really want to hear what I have to say.
Yeah.
So it amazes me. So I do appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, because you got a lot of feedback on it. So, yeah.
Thank you for that. I do. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, this is Crystal Renee from the 90-Day Podcast, and my guest today was Katina Lomack, and we're going to wish her well, and we're going to wish her to continue. We're going to wish her to continue to write because she, I believe, she got some great potentials.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, continue to write and continue to let your mind go free. Let that pen just take a mind on its own.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I will.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. Thank you. So I want to give my guest Katina Lomack a big thank you for joining us on the 90-Day Podcast. Katina, do you have anything to say before we leave?
You know what? I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for reaching out to me. I'm still amazed that you wanted to have me a guest on your podcast about what I wrote on Facebook. And just knowing that, like, that just tells me, okay, I need to keep writing and putting my thoughts out there, because somebody hears it. Even if one person hears it and it touches that one person, then I know that what I said and what God told me to put out there and what He had me to share from my heart was worth it. And I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, absolutely. Keep positive, keep moving strong, keep writing, and keep doing God's work, okay? And thank you again for being on the 90 Day Podcast. We're going to give our guest, Katina Lomack, a great big love and support on her future journey in writing. And let's just keep supporting her, y'all. And this is Krista Renee from the 90 Day Podcast saying peace and love. Thank y'all.